Wedding favors might be a small detail, but can leave a really big impression with your guests. I'm back here with food writer Jenn Press Arata, who's here with some ideas for edible favors. This is a fun idea. What did you do for your wedding, Jen?
What did we do? We actually had something on the way out, which is actually my first point I wanted to start with, because a lot of people think about something being on the table, which is great, and it looks very pretty, but sometimes it takes up a lot of room, or you think people might forget it on the way out if they're saying goodbye and they don't necessarily go back to their spot. So I wanted to encourage you to think outside the seating and gives guests something to go home with.
That's what we did too.
Okay,
because if you leave it on the table, everybody forgets it then.
Right, and sometimes, so this way, there's something on the way out. It's great if you could have an attendant there help you, or if you just have it in a very obvious spot. But this, so first all the way down to the left is breakfast in a box. So our wedding went till 2:30 in the morning.
Late
so,
night.
you know, a lot of people, so you send them home with fresh bagels. So let's say even if something specific to your area, so like if you're in New York and a New York bagel and someone out of town, it's a treat. So bagels, there's a little thing of, you know, peanut butter in there if nobody is allergic, or if you can keep something chilled, you could do the cream cheese and just a little bit, maybe the newspaper to go home with, something like that,
That's
just so they can think of you in the morning, or a late night snack. On that same note, the cake, it's a big deal. Everyone thinks about what it's going to look like, the flavor combination, you put a lot of thought into it. Half the people don't even get a slice of cake.
Good point.
They're dancing, or, you know, we had a huge dessert hour, so that was like the last thing on people's minds, or sometimes there's other things at the table. So if you send guests home with a beautifully wrapped box of cake, looks
and your
like
piece
a
of cake
gift.
is in there.
Absolutely, you could say, when you
nice.
found the right one, marriage is a piece of cake. I love a good pun.
Clever.
And you have it here beautifully wrapped. You could do your wedding colors, a fork to go home, put a little napkin in it, and this way it's something you've already purchased, because the cake is part of your price. So you're saving money, and here it's just, you know, a gift box and a plastic utensil and some ribbon. So that's something, this way everyone gets a slice, and if they have a long car ride home, they get a little
probably
something
going to
with
eat it
them.
on the way.
We're going to eat it on the way. I eat cake in the car. So also just keeping in mind with wrapping, anything, presentation is everything.
Yes.
So, I mean, here we have like a plastic vessel, we've got candy in it, but cellophane and ribbon, don't underestimate the power of it. It looks beautiful. Put your wedding colors, go with a theme, a pretty tag, these boxes, anything in a mason jar. You can do, you know, this time of year, hot cocoa mix with marshmallows on top to go, and a saying. You could do mulled cider mix with cinnamon sticks for the fall. So something they could take home and they can reuse the container afterwards, and then it's multi-purpose. Here, like donuts, just powdered donuts. You could do hot donuts if they can make them maybe at your venue in a little paper sack. So that's a really good fresh treat. And then moving on here for things that you'd want to kind of keep at your table.
Yep.
Okay, so because I live for these puns, so we have here, this is, it could be preserves or jam, but it's preserves. Our love is preserved.
Oh, clever.
You could put the date, you could put your names, and then here we have this knife. It's actually a heart, and it says spread the love. So it's, you're getting two things in one, and you could even have it if a multi-purpose and have it on your breakfast bagel if you decide to do two favors. In front here, these I actually had featured in Engagement 101 magazine.
Looks a little time consuming, Jen.
So they are time consuming, but it's definitely worth it if you have a lot of friends that will help you, or if you have the time. But these are little calendars, and you could always find other ways of doing it. But I did them in Engagement 101 as a save the date for, you know, for a shower engagement party, but they're perfect for a wedding. These are chocolate-covered graham crackers you can make. I also did them in a pop on a stick. So you do the date.
Those. They're
I
so
know,
pretty.
but they're delicious. So here, these little cakes. So of course, and these are things, again, you can go online now in this world, you can order things too.
Right.
So if you're not a baker, you can find someone who will do this for you. But these are cakes. I did make this myself. Just decorated a little 3-tier. Those look beautiful on the table, and again, might get you out of the wedding cake.
Ah, that's a good thought too.
Because the trend now is people, you know, just have the top tier real, cut into it, the rest is styrofoam.
Fake.
Yeah, because, you know, a lot of times it gets lost in the shuffle. So here I just did a sheet cake, and then these biscuit cutters, and you just cut the rounds,
them right up, huh?
pile them on, and then decorate accordingly. So, you know, it's fun to do, and you can decorate however you want. So that's a great piece. They also make molds if you want to do it in a mold. Here, all the way up front, everybody loves the chocolate bar, and that's something that lasts, so it's not perishable, so you don't have to worry if they want to take it home. Absolutely, and you could either make it yourself, you can do it on the computer, you can order these online. A lot of candy companies will print right onto a chocolate or onto a wrapper. Here, perfect for this season, just these little chocolate-covered spoons or mint spoons, so they're a fun little thing. Oops, and they're flying. But you could do mint to be, you know, something on, of course, something that holds up to the heat, so like a spoon or a wooden stick, and they go into your coffee stirrers. And again, like I have my coffee cups down here. If you had a coffee station set up, you know, hot chocolate at the end of the night, so you can use them at the same time. They look pretty on a table. And here in front, so cookies, you want to have that personal feel. So these on thatsojen.com, we have sugar cookies and royal icing recipes, and you can do your initial or your new monogram.
Sure.
So that, of course, looks pretty, and wrap it in the cellophane, and you've got yourself a beautiful piece. Oreos, recognizable, everybody loves them. You could do different flavors.
Oh, these are just
so
Oreos
just
that
chocolate-covered
you've
Oreos.
spiced up a little bit?
So, you know, you could do white milk dark, you could do colored candy coating, and chocolate chips, nonpareils, whatever you like. You could put them in cupcake wrappers that go with your theme. So, you know, if you want silver,
Always match your colors.
something else. So that's something great. And again, they could take home, you could do, you know, the mint Oreos for this time of year. You could do, you know, something else for a different season. And lastly, everybody's a foodie these days.
That's true.
So this is something, of course, not edible right away, but, you know, a truffle sea salt, a bacon sea salt, chipotle, flavored olive oils or balsamic vinegars, a grinder with, this has coffee beans and flavored sugars and chocolate. You can make your own spice mix. Maybe you have a family recipe that you can tag on to it.
I like
so it's just
that.
a great way to incorporate maybe your own culture or your family traditions, and they can think of you long after the event is over and
makes
continue
sense.
their happily ever after of cooking.
We gave out little bottles of champagne because it was, well, New Year's Eve.
Right.
And then as people walked out the door, we had a table with fresh baked cookies and milk. And it was a good deal. But these are great ideas. I think everyone likes to leave with a little bit of a treat, right?
I think so too. And the all new That's So Jen is coming December 15th. We're counting down right now on thatsojen.com. So you'll see all these great ideas and lots more things
We'll
to
look
look
for it
forward
then, Jen. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.